So we are all set for the match between Bombay and Calcutta, as Bombay have lost their first wicket as Quinton de Kock departed for 1 run. The wicket taken by Shivam Mavi. It will be very interesting as to how Mumbai responds in this situation, because this is a big ground compared to yesterday. You cannot just hit sixes for fun. Remember that. You cannot just hit sixes for fun as far as this bigger ground is concerned. Yesterday, according to me, was a bit of a luck for Rajasthan, who managed to get to 200. But tonight, it's going to be a different story altogether. So how many runs can Mumbai get? Was that an inside edge? It probably missed. That's a good catch taken, but that was not an edge, as Suryakumar Yadav faces Shivam Sunday Warrior. Inside edge, bit of a luck. And these are the kind of shots you will have to play as far as this match is concerned. It was an inside edge, bit of luck past the keeper. So 2.1 overs, 12 runs, 1 wicket. As Warrior bowls, this time that misses everybody. That was a good delivery by the bowler. This won't be an easy.
What has happened there?
This won't be an easy kind of a pitch compared to what was yesterday. Hello. Yeah. So how many runs can Calcutta, can Mumbai be restricted to? I think 160 will be a good score. You're not getting, no way are you getting 200 like it happened yesterday, because that was a small ground. This is a bigger ground. Remember that. What was that? As he bowls another ball of the third over. Slow start from Mumbai. This time it's flicked away past square leg into the boundary. Consecutive boundaries in this over, 8 runs, and Mumbai move on to 16 runs, 1 wicket, 2.4 overs, and the run rate has moved on to 6 runs per over.
It's 1945.
As I said, it's a bigger ground, Dubai, compared to what was yesterday. It was a small ground in Sharjah, and Rajasthan, riding on a bit of luck, made their way to 200. But I think anything between 150 and 160 will be good for the team batting first. And of course, the trend of bowling first will not work, because I think what was indicative of the match between Delhi and Punjab and then Bangalore, And Hyderabad, of course, this time it's wide, short pass cover, beautiful shot played through the offside by SK Yadav. That was a brilliant shot. Taking full advantage of the fielding restrictions and bigger grounds, you will have to be very careful before hitting big shots because let's see what happens. But as I said, the trend of bowling first and chasing a total, well, it no longer will work for the teams. It will backfire. It backfired over the past 3 matches. The first match was bit of a luck for Chennai, who chased down 160. This time flicked over square leg, fourth boundary of the over, beats the fielder, and it's 24 for 1 after 3 overs. So it's an indication that the number 3, Surya Kumar Yadav, will imitate what Sanju Samson did, hitting shots, but hitting shots at a force. Sixes will take some considerable power. You will need some muscle power. You will need some luck if you have to hit balls for a 6. I'm very curious to find out as to how that will happen. So 3 overs, 24 runs, a good run rate of 8 runs per over. So for me, between 160 and 170 will be the kind of total Mumbai will have to defend. And with the likes of Hardik Pandya, Kunal Pandya, Kyron Pollard to follow, that's played to mid-on, and that will be 2 runs. So 3.1 overs, 26 for 1. So it's an indication that Rohit, like Steve Smith yesterday, will play that sheet anchor role. And looking at the drying of the ball, the dew has already made its presence felt. But let me tell you, don't be misled by this abstract and frivolous factor like dew, because dew is nothing more than a frivolous factor, which is for me now becoming a headache. I don't agree with this whole dew situation. But for me, this guy, Surya Kumar Yadav, is going to do exactly what Sanju Samson did. And Rohit Sharma will play that knock, but he will take the singles and allow the other batters to hit the shot. This time it's play, it beats everyone. Beautiful shot on the up. It's chased by the fielder and it will be cut down to 2 runs. Well chased by the fielder Kuldeep Yadav. Even Calcutta have a few good bowlers in their ranks. They have the 2 spinners in Kuldeep Yadav and Sunil Narayan, and Patrick Cummins and Andre Russell as the all-rounders. Now some people would question, why is Patrick Cummins in that all-rounders category? Why not? We have designated so many pseudo all-rounders in the past, and I can give you names. There were so many pseudo all-rounders named. I don't want to name them because it will bite at the ego of a few individuals, but Patrick Cummins in that all-rounders category. This time played away. Andrew Russell chases the ball and he will cut it off. That's well fielded, bit of a ankle, and they come back for 3 runs. So as I said, a big ground, the threes and the threes, the twos, the singles, you will have to be content with that. Don't be misled by what happened in Sharjah yesterday. It was always going to happen. This is a bigger ground. This is a ground 2 or 3 times the size of Sharjah. This ground is even bigger than any ground in India. So you have to imagine that if you hit a 6, it's a big achievement. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's the modern day sports, frivolous things, oxymoron things like modern day sports. It's obvious what is going to happen. As we coming to the end of the fourth over as Mumbai are 1 for 31 as Mabi bowls. This time Yadav plays to the fielder. So will there be a bowling change with the other bowlers and the Warrior having gone for runs? There could be a bowling change. Let's see what happens. As we come to the end of the fourth over, the final ball to be bowled, 7 of this over. And I like the construction of the ground, the make of this ground. We are coming to the end of the over. This time it's played away, and that has beaten the fielder. And will it be collected? Yes, a big ground, and 3 runs are on the take as they come back for 3. It was in fact 2 runs. It looked like 3, but they have come back for 2 runs. 4 gone, 1 for 33. So we are back live as we start another over. As Patrick Cummins gets an over, and this time he tries to play and he gets a wide. This time that's been smashed, and that's Rohit Sharma for you. As I said, you will need considerable power to play the shot. First shot on a length, and Rohit Sharma says, "Thank you, sir." Slam bam into the crowd, into the vacant boxes. Stand and deliver. Pulled away with power. Reminds you of somebody, Lee versus Tendulkar, that has crashed into past the hoardings, that's gone out of the ground into that area where will they sanitize the ball? That's a question I'm interested in. Will the ball be sanitized? Looking at how it was sanitized during the England tournaments. It depends who is present there to pick up the ball. Is it a match official? Is it a designated official who will pick up the ball? Let's see what happens. I have no idea. But I had no idea about these rules. They were not anywhere mentioned. As Rohit Sharma gets ready, we get 7 runs from 1 ball already, as we are just 11 balls away from the power play. But Patrick Cummins is one of the finest fast bowlers ever seen. He will surely get Rohit out. This time that's played away and they will take a single. As I said, That shot that was played, according to me, there are no long boundaries and short boundaries over here. Both the boundaries are considerably long, and this was played over square leg. This would have been played by any batsman because both of them are long boundaries, and that went into a region where possibly the ball is not expected to go. But I hope as the tournament progresses, the tournament officials feel that they should at least place a few individuals in those areas where the ball will go, one in every stand, and for that you don't have to sanitize the ball. This time it's played away towards square leg, a single. So these two have decided that they're going to take the singles. So far, a good run rate maintained by Calcutta. As Patrick Cummins bowls to Rohit Sharma, this time he defends. He was trying to go for the big heave-ho. As we come to the end of the fifth over, this time Rohit pulls and result the same. Beats the fielder by a huge margin. If a fielder was there, it would have been out. But the fielding restrictions have made it easy for the batter and he is taking advantage. And it's an expensive over, but that's what happens. Pace often works in your favor and sometimes it doesn't. And despite all the knowledge about knowing where the fielder hits, fielding restriction means where do you put the two fielders? If a fielder was there, he was gone. But had he hit on the other side, it would have been a six. Coming to the final ball of the fifth over, Patrick to Rohit. This time it's played away, almost squared him up. 5 gone, 1 for 48. So, and there you go. It's time for the spinner. It's an early arrival of the spinner, but it's nevertheless it was done out of force and not choice. As Narayan bowls to Suryakumar Yadav, would says, "Thank you so much," and the first ball has disappeared for a 4. Well, if this was Sharjah, it would have been a 6. But it doesn't make a difference. As long as boundaries keep flowing and the decision to bowl first, once again, in my viewpoint, has
It's 20
backfired.
hours.
Has absolutely backfired for the fielding team. I think it's a poor decision to bowl first. They're getting caught in this web of something which I am not able to get. Why? Why bowl first? Because you think you can chase, because the dew factor comes into play. It's a bigger ground. And this time it's played away towards square leg, and that will be a fine leg perhaps. as Narayan bowls to Rohit Sharma. This time Rohit smartly takes a single. I think this decision has absolutely backfired for these two teams. As Narayan bowls to Suryakumar Yadav, it's pulled away, and this will be the nth boundary of the match. And once again, the bowlers have been carted to all parts of the ground. Questionable decision to bowl first, in my viewpoint, as the 50 partnership comes up in double quick time. And now a total between 160 and 170 is beckoning. Well, you might presume they get to 200, but this happens every time. I've seen it on so many occasions. The score predictor, the artificial intelligence calculates that the team will get to 200, but then there's a collapse between over number 9 and over number 15. There is an evident collapse. I've seen it enough number of times. You don't need an artificial intelligence to tell you that. So a single taken, 5.5 overs, 1 for 59. Well, it looks like they are going well. Then he will perhaps also bring the second spinner Kuldeep Yadav into play, as his top bowlers have disappeared to all parts of the ground. As Rohit to Narayan to Rohit, that's cut away straight to the fielder, ends the over. 6 gone, 1 for 59. We all heard his term that this is a game of uncertainty. Now he brings on Andre Russell. So many bowling changes in a space of 6 overs, rotating the bowlers. And this is his last throw of the dice. Well, he has one more spinner in Kuldeep Yadav, but then the logic of a leg spinner, a left arm spinner bowling to right handers doesn't work. This time that's played away, defended well. So good start, 6.2 overs, 1 for 60. How many runs can Bombay secure? Well, this one has disappeared to the boundary as the boundaries continue to flow in emphatic fashion by the bowlers, and the coaching staff at dugout looks concerned. Well, the decision to bowl first, I hope in the next few matches, the coaching staff, the team management, and the captain and the leadership group says enough is enough. No bowling first. Let's not get caught in this web of bowling first. It's not working. Because it's a win-win for the batting team. Yes, the bowling team will chase down something, but it might be between 165 and 180. Yes, there will be an evident collapse. It always happens. It happened yesterday. It happened in the game before that. But if the first two or three batters, if Bombay can reach, let's say, 130 in 13 overs, then they might promote Pandya, or this time that's pulled away and this will be into the car park. Short, wide, and Rohit says, thank you. So the short delivery is not working in favor of the bowling team. As Bombay move on to 70 for 1, 6.5 overs. Final ball of the 7th over. This time, beautifully played. Will that be cut off? It will be cut off at the extra cover boundary. And continuing at the run rate of 7 per over, Bombay are 71 for 1. I think it's a misdirect. It's a misleading thing that bowling first hasn't worked for any of the teams, especially apart from the first game where the team batting first couldn't defend that total. We have seen totals of 150 and 160 being defended. And then yesterday it was something beyond explanation because of the smaller grounds. That was what it was. And predictably, another bowling change brought by the captain of the Kolkata Indians. Kuldeep Yadav comes in. So he's used all of his 6 bowlers in the first 7 overs. Will something give up? Will something happen? He's tried all his cards in one go. He would have protected a few bowlers. He will have to rotate his bowlers. But even if there is a predictable collapse between over number 9 and over number 15, they have enough individuals in the 2 KPs, the HP, and few other individuals who carry the total to 160 and 170. So the job of SK and RS is to make sure that they constitute a partnership, don't lose wickets in the 11th over, and then perhaps promote one of the 3 all-rounders the two KPs, Karan Pollard and Kunal Pandya, along with HP to do the job. That's an inside edge, but luckily it goes onto the pads, through the bat, and towards square leg. So this has been a quiet over so far, but it's a smart over. You don't have to hit every ball for a six. As we come to the end of the eighth over, Yada bowls and SK has decided to take the aerial route. Despite being a long boundary, he connects well, and this is turning out to be a magnificent partnership and a poor decision making in the context of what is happening. Down the track, well, had he missed, it would have been stumped, would have called it a poor shot, but he connects and he connects well to take the ball over the cover boundary, the extra cover boundary, and it hits the hoardings with and such an impact that it shakes everyone to its core. As we come to the end of the eighth over, another bowler who has disappeared for more than 10 runs per over in his very first over, and this partnership is looking threatening. And the total of 170, 175 beckons for Bombay. This time he flicks it away, ends the eighth over with a single, 8 gone, 1 for 83. As we go for the frivolous timeout. So we're nearing the end of the timeout. Will timeout be that kind of break that stalls the momentum of the batting team? It's such, it happens every time. That is why I question the logic of the timeout and why two of them, because it doesn't help anybody. And let's see what happens. Using all his 5 bowlers in a space of 6 bowlers, with the 3 all-rounders in Cummins, Narayan and Russell, along with the 3 normal bowlers in Warrior, Mavi and Kuldeep Yadav, all of them going over 10 runs per over, being carted all of at least a 6 of every bowler. So at least on an average, 6 sixes have already been hit in this match, and perhaps a few more. You can join the conversation on my YouTube channel if you want, if you have some views. As we begin the 9th over, as we come to the end of, well, it's the fielding restrictions time, to means that the field is spread out. That will allow the bowlers some cushion. Sixes will be not easy to hit. This time that's played away, flicked away towards square leg, and it will only be a single. Deep square leg, and it will only be a single. So 8.1 overs, 1 for 84. Smart batting, knowing that it's a bigger ground. Repeat of Sharjah ain't happening at this point in time, as Narayan bowls to Rohit Sharma. Sharma just plays it through covers, another single. So I've decided that with the field spread out, they can take the singles, not take a risk against their top spinner, and then take advantage of individuals like Russell. Let's see how that strategy is carried out in this situation. This time short, wide, but straight to the fielder. Well, tonight's commentary brought to you by the weekly show with Aditya. That's a single taken towards long on. So a good over so far for the bowling team. No 4s and 6s so far. This time it's played away towards square leg, a single, and they were trying to go for 2 runs, but it will only be a single. So overall, a good over, and the coaching staff is, well, they're relaxed. As we come to the end of the 9th over, this time Yadav pulls it away, but the ball will land short of long on. It wasn't hit with much power, otherwise he would have holed out to the fielder. Ends the 9th over, it's 1 for 88. We are back live as we start the 10th over, 9.2 overs, 1 for 90. Let's hear what the coach has to say.
We've got some quality players with both bat and ball to come in this game, so we just got to hang in the contest. But these guys have played well. Fair credit to both men so far. But we've got to hang in and try and pick up a wicket.
This time, is there an edge? Well, that's missed the bat by a whisker. He was trying to cut. It was too close to cut for the batters, and with that over not constituting any big runs, just singles, and with just 1 run or 3 balls, it will look as if the bowling team has things under control. But let's wait. Let's not get carried away. The third umpire, and well, a spinner and a no ball, it's often considered to be a little strange. A free hit for SK. Why? He has played that away, and that will not be a big shot, and they only get a single. So it was, he got away with that free hit. Usually free hits go for big runs, but he got away with this. That was a bit of luck for the spinner, Kuldeep Yadav. As we come to the fourth ball of the 10th over, Rohit Sharma sweeps, and this will be cut off, and they will only come for 1. Though a bit of strangled hold by the fielding team, trying to restrict the runs. And I'm curious as to see, will the captain of Kolkata Indians bring back his fast bowlers, possibly Patrick Cummins, who went for 15 in his first over, or will he continue with the 2 spinners in Narayan and Kuldeep Yadav? It looks like he will most likely continue with the spinners till the 12th or 13th over. This time, SK tries to go for the big shot, doesn't connect, and slaps it down the ground for only 1 run. So a bit of a stranglehold. 5 of the last over, 5 of this over. So a bit of a mini comeback, but no wickets taken. If they take a wicket, it will be 10 on 10 for their effort. But still, you double the score and Bombay get to 190. So still, it's a good start. You never know what will happen from over number 9 to over number 15. This time, Rohit Sharma defends, no runs. Another smart over bowled by the spinner. It's 1 for 94 after 10. We are back live as Narayan continues to, this time it's played away only for a single. So singles won't hurt the bowling team. Last 11 balls, 11 runs. So that will be something that the bowling team will say, well done. So we are back live as just singles constitute this over so far. 10.3 overs, 1 for 96, and the run rate seems to be climbing down. So, but this is a common thing that happens. I have seen this so many times. It looks as if the team is going great. Then between over number 9, over number 11, the bowling team, this time it's been pulled away, but it lands too far away from the fielder. The bowling team starts to say enough is enough. Sharma goes down the track and they will take 2 runs, and this could be a run out. I think the fielder, it was a great throw, and the predictable nature has opened itself bare. I said wickets fall between over number 9 and over number 15 as the bowling team tries to put a stranglehold on the batting team in decision to take a second one, and the batsman's reaction says he is gone. They're just waiting for a confirmation for an official replay, but he has gone. Now the question is, was the ball collected cleanly, or did he hit the stumps before with his hand? I think the ball was collected cleanly. Well done by Owen Morgan.
It's
That-
2030.
That is clearly a run out, though it looks a tight call, but that's clearly a run out because the ball was in his hand and he demolished the stumps with his wrists. So will that be out or not out? Let's see what the third umpire says, the video umpire. Well, that's gone. And as I predicted, wickets fall between over number 9 and over number 11 as the bowling team tries to put a stoppage on the run flow. And this has happened so many times. I've seen this happen every time. It happened yesterday. It has happened in every sport. So it's 98 for 2 after 10.5 overs. some individuals will call that run out a modern day attempt by the fielder. How is that a modern day thing? It's common sense. You come up to the stumps, you collect the ball, and you flick off the bails. It's so simple, straightforward. What is modern and ancient about this? Why that discussion? As Rohit sweeps, missed by everybody, will that be a bye? That's been called a leg bye as it hit his thumbs. The 100 comes in the 11th over as a new batter comes. So I would have expected one of those all-rounders to step up in this situation. But let's see how these two individuals respond. The new batter is Saurabh Tiwari, who's played for multitude of teams. And he is a good batter, but with only less than 10 overs to go, less than 50 balls, just over 50 balls to go. Why would you not send someone like Pandya, Pollard, or the other Pandya? They would have enjoyed hitting, but maybe they have a logic of making sure that this individual scores runs. So he takes a single, gets off the mark. As we see the replay of the run out, it was an indecision, a late call, and an excellent throw and a good pickup and flicking of the stumps. Good throw by Narayan. Smart work by Owen Morgan to be near the stumps. And the moment he collected the ball, the batter knew he was gone as Rohit Sharma plays it away. And this time they will not risk taking a single. So the run rate has dropped from 10 to 8.5, but expect this to happen. Expect a couple of wickets to fall, and then the likes of KP1, KP2, and HP to do the job coming at number 5, 6, and 7. This time it's played away to point, no runs, and it's time for the bowling team to put a stranglehold on the batting team. As we come to the end of the 12th over, 11.4 overs, 402, as the spinners try to put a choke hold on the run. This time it's cut away. That's cut away straight to point. Singles won't hurt the bowling team. Now it's perhaps Rohit's job to do exactly what Steve Smith did yesterday and De Villiers the day before, to bat right through to get those 70, 80 runs. As we are ready for the final ball of the 12th over. With Rohit on 49 and that glue between. This time Rohit sweeps, no fine leg, and they will come back for 2 runs and he will get to his 50. So it's 2 for 105 after 12 overs. So 8 overs remain. The big hitters in KP1, KP2, and HP are on the crease. Well, which of the 3 individuals will come? which of the three all-rounders will be next? I would have preferred sending somebody right now. It may work against Bombay if they don't get to 170, 175, as the fast bowlers have been given a second chance. The three fast bowlers are expected to do the job right now. With lot of overs from Cummins, Mavi, as Sandeep Warrior gets to bowl his third over and put a stranglehold on the situation. And this time the fielder plays and they will take a single. Singles won't hurt the batting team. And this drop in run rate, well, it happens often, so I'm not surprised. This is that over when Rohit needs to go for the full Monty. For me, somewhere between 165 and 170 is the kind of total you are looking at. So second ball of the 13th over to Rohit. This time he was trying to cut away and it's a wide. It's a poor decision to call it a wide. It's a very poor decision. It wasn't so far off. It was short and he backed away. It was not a wide. It was wide, but it was not wide enough to be called a wide. So I think umpires need to relook at this time. It's cut away, and this is an important boundary. Short wide beats the point fielder, and it's another exciting moment for the batting team. This time he said, "I won't be waiting." Once again, same delivery. This time he doesn't pull out. He has to stretch across. On a shorter ground, this would have been a 6. On a bigger ground, you have to be happy with 4 runs. If this was Sharjah, it would have been 6 all the way. This is Abu Dhabi and Dubai, so accept boundary. This time, a play and a miss. Good delivery by the bowler. So Rohit has to do exactly what happened yesterday. He has to by logic bat right through. So 12.5 overs, run rate of just around 8.5 runs per over. As this time Rohit once again bowls, and this time once again questionably the umpire gives it a wide. It wasn't that wide. Well, that's a poor decision as far as wide is concerned because the batter was chasing the ball. It's a poor decision as far as the wide is concerned. I don't think umpires follow any rule as far as the wide. They go by instinct. This time Rohit was trying to move away and it almost kissed the stumps. So in the context, it's still a good over, just couple of wides, 6 runs, singles, so 9 runs, 10 of the over, but not convincing 10 runs by the team. As we come to the end of the 13th over. 6 of the over, in fact. 7 of the over, in fact. 4-1 and two very poor called wides. I'm disappointed with the wides that have been called by the umpire. Let's see what happens on the fifth ball of the over as Sandeep Warrior bowls to Rohit Sharma. This time Rohit Sharma tries to pull away but doesn't connect and it will be a singles. In context of the match, Calcutta might think they have gotten away with this over. But if Bombay can get between 165 and 175, they have a good bowling lineup to defend that score, as we saw in the previous matches. That bowling first is backfiring. It happened in the first match. It won't be a deja vu. But they will need HP, KP1 and KP2 to do something extraordinary if they have to get to the total of 180. Because at this point, even if they go at the current run, that is around 9, almost 9 to the over, they will get between 170 and 180. This time on the pads, flicked away, and they will come back for 2 runs. So eventually, 10 of the over, 9 of the over, 13 gone, 2 for 115, and they continue. The timeout not taken as of yet. The interesting point about this whole thing is that people presume that someone
It's
like
2045.
someone like Kunal Pandya is not your big hitter, but I have added him in that mix. He is my big hitter. As I said, KP1, KP2, and HP. This time short, wide, and this has disappeared into the car park for the first 6 of this over. And Rohit has decided that he's had enough of a wait. He is going to take his chances despite the big grounds. On his knees, short, wide, and Kuldeep Yadav coming back. This would have been a perfect opportunity for him to restrict the runs. But if the first ball goes for a 6 beyond the, well, so many balls have gone there. My question is anybody there? How many balls do they have in backup? Once again, this is a questionable decision by the authorities that they haven't considered this, that the balls will be going out of the park into the car park, into areas, into onto the roof where the ball cannot be retrieved. Do we have a plan B? How many balls do you have in your backup? And then there are some rules that the ball has to be in that same shape every time the ball disappears out of the ground into the car park onto the roof. So I'm interested as to see how it all plays out. As Kuldeep bowls to Rohit, this time that's played away, but that will only be a single. Now the interesting point is the question will start arising. Kuldeep Yadav going for runs. will this influence his selection for his national team? I think this and the national team are two different things. They are apples and oranges. Performances here do not influence your performance for the national team, and not performing here doesn't mean that you won't perform for the national team, or you will not be in that good frame of mind. Even if he goes for sixes, fours, runs, doesn't take a wicket, it doesn't influence the performance for the national team. That he bowls a left-hander who is just quietly taking the singles or smartly taking the single and giving strike to the batter who has been there for a while for a majority of the balls, who has played out of the 81 balls bowled 45 balls. Like he's played more than 50% of the runs. It always happens when you score one batter always. This time Rohit takes the alien route, but this could be a wicket. No, that's a six. Consecutive sixes in this over. Well, bit of a bad luck for the bowler. That would have had there been a fielder there, it would have been out. So what do you do now? I will be disappointed with those pseudos who say that Kuldeep Yadav disappearing means his mystery is gone. I do not agree. It's like saying that if you don't perform in school exams, you won't perform for your national exam. They're two different things. This time Rohit tries to pull away but manages a single, and this is turning out to be an expensive over. The kind of over Bombay needed to get back on the track. They were slightly off track, slightly off plan, and now a total of 190 beckons, 190 plus beckons. But remember, a wicket can fall anytime because if Rohit's current partner doesn't equally contribute with fours and sixes, this time plays away, it's a wide, poor wide. Well, it's a wide this time, it will be considered a wide. So as I said, if Rohit's partner doesn't equally hit fours and sixes, get aggressive, contribute in that manner, it might put pressure on him and he might be out. And then you will blame the other batter for this. Ends the over, 14 gone, 2 for 132. So we are back live as we get ready for the final few overs of the match. Let's see how many runs can Bombay make. Can they get to that total? Can they search for that score? So as 14 and a half overs, 143 for 2, and the other batters had decided that enough is enough. I'm going to strike the ball into the car park. As Rohit gets ready to face Patrick Cummins, who has been expensive, this time flicked away, played behind square leg, and it will be only a single. He was trying the ram shot, but a bigger ground probably cost him that shot he likes so much. But of course, Patrick Cummins, Australia's best fast bowler in over decades. I've always heard people say your best batter should come early. How do you decide that? How do you exactly decide that? I don't know. Then we should have this option that let's retire Hurt and let's get the other batter, because this is not an international match. It's almost a friendly match. Whoever wins the tournament, it doesn't influence that national team perspectives. Maybe like football, we should have substitutes. Okay, Rohit has batted enough. At this time, Saurav Tiwari flicks it away for 2 runs. I've always heard this conversation between these pseudo experts. Your best batter should play the most deliveries. Now, this is a dilemma. If, let's say, Kyron Pollard or Hardik Pandya or Kunal Pandya had come at number 4, they would have hit sixes. Had they got out first ball, he would have said, why did you send them? How do you balance this? Because this is a very juvenile kind of a discussion. Or maybe like in football, let there be substitutes. Okay, so Rohit has batted enough. Now let's retire Hurt and let's give the others batter a chance. This is not, it doesn't look logical. I find the discussion juvenile at best. Ends the 15th over, 147 for 2. As we get ready for the final 5 overs, well, by logic, since this is only a friendly tournament, not an international tournament, it has no repercussions as far as international tournaments go. Then let's change rule. That let's make it very flexible. Let's say this number 4 batter is not contributing much, right? Then let's change the status quo. Let's tell the let the tournament officials say flexible. You want to retire a batter and let somebody else bat, let's do that. If team is 90 for 5 and the current batter is not able to score those runs, let's do that. As Narayan comes to Saurav Tiwari, who decides to take the aerial route, and this has been taken. There you go. Well, now it's all up to the 2 KPs and HP to do the job, but this was always going to happen. He wasn't doing much at number 4, but still, Bombay are going at 9.5 runs per over. He backed away, tried to go over the top, perhaps thinking that he is somewhere in Sharjah or Delhi, but the big ground, good catch, reverse cup taken by the top all-rounders in the country, Patrick Cummins, and the 11 to 15 prediction once again is right. Thank you so much. So we are now on for a short 2.5 minute break. Stay tuned. as we start the 16th over, and it must have been a difficult decision for for the team management. Who should they send? The KP or HP? KP1, KP2 or HP? As we see the batter trying to go over the fielder, but a good catch taken at the boundary. So we are only left with less than 30 balls. And once again, the question will come in this friendly tournament. Should Pandya have been promoted at number 4? As Hardik Pandya plays and defends, but there's no time for that. But this is not your usual ground. This is not Bombay, where you flick off a wrist and it's into the crowd. That is not going to happen. And now let's see how Narayan bowls the last delivery, this time played away. And this is turning out to be an excellent over. Just two runs and a wicket. In fact, it's an over which will be in favor of Calcutta. But Bombay are getting somewhere between 180 and 190. That is for sure. As Narayan bowls the 5th ball of the 16th over, Pandya plays no run. So 3 dot balls and the pressure rising on HP. HP, not Hewlett Packard, but Pandya. So we are coming to the end of the 16th over. Pandya plays straight to the fielder, 4 dot balls. That's something that will psychologically influence. You will have to now start hitting. You don't have much time left, just under 24 balls, exactly 24 balls left. And the last 4 overs could be a make or break for either of the two teams, as it will be up to the likes of the fast bowlers to do the job with 2 overs to go, somewhere between Mavi, Patrick Cummins and Warrior to do the job. And maybe Russell will be employed. 4 fast bowlers, 1 over each. You never know. Maybe they do not complete their quota, but how do you complete your quota when you have 6 bowlers and 20 overs? At best, you can bowl 3 overs per bowler. You say you don't complete your quota. I once again question the logic of that. You can't complete your quota. You just have to go by instinct. Completing your full quota is not necessarily important. As I said, this is a friendly tournament. The implications of this tournament do not influence our athletes' career as far as international career is concerned, which is even more important than it is ever be. As Cummins bowls to Rohit, Rohit pulls away and he starts with the wide. Though I question the wide because it might have come off his pads.
Yeah, if you keep that simple.
150 comes for Mumbai as Rohit tries to play this ball away, pulls it away, and this lands nowhere. And they take a single. And he looks to be disappointed after playing that shot because he would have gone and that would have put a strangle hold on the score as they go at just under 9 runs per over as Cummins bowls to Hardik Pandya, who flicks it away, but 5 dot balls for that's the first single taken, and it puts them in their favor. So 3 for 151, 16.2 overs. Now, when I look at these statistics in this tournament, at number 5, Hardik Pandya has a strike rate of 155, and number 6, 186. Well, suppose Karan Pollard was sent. He didn't score too many runs, leaving Pandya with 2 overs. Then you would question the logic of not sending Pandya. Now, if Pandya's strike rate is lower at number 5, then you question the logic of sending Hardik Pandya again and not Karan Pollard. Well, Rohit takes a water break. I question this. You've already had 2 breaks of 2.5 minutes each. You have recovered enough, and still you need a water break. And this is what disappoints me the most. Yes, he's struggling with a bit of injury. He's batting in nearly 40 degrees temperature. He's obviously struggling with this thigh. He had a similar issue in New Zealand when that happened and the ball hit him square on the thigh. Rohit tries to go, backs away, and that should not be a wide. Poor call. Once again, a poor call by the umpire because the batter backed away. And then we say the rules are not in favor of the bowlers. Well, if the umpires take such decisions, where do you put the bowlers? You cannot complain they're not in favor of the bowlers. What if this was not a wide? Nobody would have questioned it. We should stop saying things that the game is not in favor of the bowlers or the batters. Pandya plays it away, and this will be a 6, flat batted, beautiful shot. So Pandya gets the juices flowing. The first aggressive shot, well, it's a boundary, but it's good enough as Patrick Cummins continues to go for more than 12 runs per over, 2 runs per ball. On the pads, on his hips, and he says, "Thank you so much. Stand and deliver." Well, bigger ground, it was a 6. Smaller ground, it was a 6. A bigger ground, well, if this was Australia, he wouldn't be hitting with such impunity. So someone like Patrick Cummins has nothing to worry about. He shouldn't be influenced in any way by the performance in this particular tournament. But let's see what happens in the next 3 balls as Cummins bowls to Pandya. Pandya pulls that away once again, and another excellent shot by the fielder. And that they're checking whether it's a 4 or a 6, but in the same area, on the same length, this time 1 bounce, consecutive boundaries. 1 bounce, 4. Then why don't you keep a fielder over there? When now the logic of Pandya coming at number 5 works. He's striking at a strike rate of 170. So an expensive over so far. Over 13 runs have come from this over, and that will put the pressure on Kolkata. Well, this time a good bouncer that almost felled the batter. It was a good bouncer and bowled at 147 kilometers per hour, and thankfully the umpire gives the leeway to the bowler. Usually they call it a wide or 1 for the over, but it was a good bouncer. And if this was Australia, it would have been even a better bouncer. So yeah, keep waiting. As we get ready for the final ball of the over. And I think somewhere between 195 and 200 is on the cards. Means chances of Bombay winning increase. It's 75-25 as Cummins bowls to Pandya. This time he pulls it away, and that's gone into the crowd. A huge over for Bombay. 19 of the over. It's 17 gone. 3 for 167. So we enter the 18th over, and that was possibly given a wide. 17.1 overs, 3 for 170 and 200 looks so much on the cards for Mumbai Knight Riders. As we come to the second ball, this time Rohit pulls, and that is a glorious shot. One bounce, four. That was a glorious shot by the captain, leading by example and scoring over more than 55% of the team score. And when that happens, that's trouble. But going by the logic, they are getting somewhere between 200 and 210. If you have two more big hitters to follow in KP1 and KP2 as Rohit gets ready for this third ball. This time he tries to pull away, and why in the world is that a wide? Why is that a wide? That is a poor decision. That is a decision which is questionable. The bowler backed away, the batsman followed the bowler, rather the bowler followed the batter, and it's a stunningly poor decision by the umpire. Typical substandard umpiring by Indian umpires. I'm very, very disappointed. I've seen this millions of times. As we come to the third ball, this time Rohit plays it away, beats the fielder, but it will be covered over there and it will only be a single. Well done. As we get ready for the fourth ball of the 18th over, and I don't mind saying the umpiring has been substandard. They have been giving wide without thinking about the logic of giving that decision. Why is that a wide? The batter is the wide line moved with the batter. Forget that. Forget the semantics. Forget the logistics. Forget the rules. You have to. Then you can't complain that the bowlers don't have leeways. If such decisions are taken, then yeah, the bowlers don't have leeways. This time Pandya pulls, but that will only be a single to long on. We complain it's a batsman game, or it's a women's game, and then when the bowler bowls well, when it is not a wide, I think 3-4 wides have been poorly given, which questions the umpiring standards. And I think looking at some of the Indian umpires, their umpiring standards are pretty, I would rate them 4 out of 10. That's pretty poor. This time it's in the air and that's gone. Rohit Sharma departs, which means those extra 10 runs will be taken out in this. He tried his best. No other individual contributed more than 30 runs apart from Surya Kumar Yadav. Rohit departs after scoring more than 45 runs, 45% of the team's total, and no other batter contributed more than 30 apart from the guy at number 3, which means Shivam Mavi gets another wicket, the young fast bowler, and it's 4 for 177. So it's a huge wicket in the context of this match as Bombay saunter on to 4 for 177. If you look at the scores, nothing from Saurav Tiwari, nothing much from Pandya, Rohit scoring more than 54% of the team's total, which means that someone like Patrick Cummins might get one more over, and most likely, well, KP Senior gets a chance, Karen Pollard, but it's a good chance for Calcutta to restrict them. What will they do in the last 2 overs? But the decision to bowl first has backfired, and I hope the teams going forward use a bit of logic that bowling, yes, you have to defend a score, but do you want to chase 200 by bowling first? Do you want to have that kind of, do you want to take that risk? Now the question will be, is it too late for Kieron Pollard coming in at number 6 with only less than, with just about 2 overs remaining? You can question the logic. You have 20 overs. You can keep saying your best batters must bat and open with Pollard then. Let's do that. If you want your best batters to bat the maximum ball, which is illogical in 20 overs, it's basically 120 balls plus wides and no balls, let's say 130 balls at the most. It doesn't make sense to have such kind of assumptions. Maybe in 50 overs, yes. Maybe in the 90 over matches, yes. In 20 overs, it hardly makes a difference. Who comes at what position? This time that's played away nicely. A Yorker to long on, eventually a very good over. 18 gone, 178 for 4. Will Calcutta be able to chase a total between 190 and 200? I'm looking forward to that situation. They have a couple of good batters. But since there is no World Cup around the corner, there is no pressure on either of these batters to prove anything. It's fun times. It's a friendly tournament. It's all fun and games. You win, well done. You lose, nothing to lose. So play in the manner that you have come to have fun. It's not a national team. Your selection, your misselection won't make a difference. So he gives the 19th over to Andre Russell. Maybe he is scared of giving it to Patrick Cummins, who went for runs. So this is an interesting competition. 2 6 feet individuals who have that muscle power, who won the tournament for their respect for their side in the West Indies or the Caribbean 20 over tournament, but nobody even knew that tournament happened. Not once it was even given that kind of PR. So that's the big difference. Anyways, 11 balls to go. Pollard has no option but to start hitting. This time he smashes it back. He takes a single. Well, this might be a good situation for Calcutta to make sure that they don't give too many runs in the last few overs. If you look at the contributions, Rohit with 80, Surya Kumar with 47, and the rest just in that 15s and 20s. But by the time they came, 75% of the match was done as Russ bowls round the wicket and he gets a wide. What happened there? That's a hit wicket. Woo! That is a hit wicket. He tried to back away and the ball hits the stumps. And AR gets rid of HP. And Calcutta have, as they say, made a comeback into this match. He was trying to back away. He got deep into the crease, and that often works against you. So 180 for 5, a strange way for Pandya to get out. It's a great chance for Calcutta to restrict them. At best, they can restrict them somewhere between so two new batters at the crease, the two KPs, and a lot of pressure on them. 9 balls to go. Can they get at least 2 runs per ball? But I see a collapse happening here by Bombay as Russell bowls to. That's a good bouncer. That's an excellent bouncer, and that will be, well, it wasn't a run out, but it was a lot of panic happening. A good bouncer. It fails the batter. They run across. The keeper tries to dislodge the stumps, and the batter felt as if he had been felled by clothesline, as they call in WWE. So it's a good decision to get Andre Russell to bowl the 19th over, just a couple of runs, wickets, and he has already put the batters in doubt. When he was in, had the stumps hit, but he's already, the way he's bowling, it's brilliant. Pollard goes, but doesn't connect well, a single to long on, and this is turning out to be a fantastic over in the context of the match. Five balls, 4 runs. In the context of the match, a top over by Russell, he could have been brought before. So who will bowl the final over? It looks like it could be Shivam Mavi who will bowl the final over. 1 ball to go. He brought the bat at an angle as he was wielding a sword. As KP bowls a good bouncer, an excellent over by Andre Russell. It's 5 for 182, and now Bombay will at most saunter to 190, and they will regret this kind of situation. But 190 is still a very good score. Wow, it's nearly taken 2 hours to complete 20 overs. Yeah, and nothing more to add to this. 2 hours to complete 20 overs, and nobody looks flustered. They accept the fact that it's taken them 2 hours to complete 20 overs. That's poor. So much time was wasted. 5 minutes of subject time out, and Rohit calling for drinks because he was struggling with his hamstring. Pollard bowls flat bats straight, but it will be only 1 run. An excellent start. So a lot of pressure on KP and KP. on Krunal and Pollard. As we get ready for the final 5 balls of this match, and it has taken 2 hours, and nobody is worried. The umpires look, well, they're not showing their concern, but 2 hours
It's
to bowl.
21:30.
There you go, 21:30. Lot of time wasted. 2 hours, I'm disappointed. 2 hours to bowl 20 overs. This time he tries to pull away, but the umpire, it strikes him outside, pitches outside leg, and they saunter in for a single. So an excellent over so far from Mavi. As we get ready for the final 4 balls of this match. And I hope the break won't be much between innings because they've already wasted so much of time. But that's how the sport is played. We have to accept that fact. So no point complaining. Let's see what happens now as Mavi has bowled, being the top bowler. Pollard goes, that's a wide. And it's been given a wide and he's gone for the review. They feel there's an edge. So let's hear in from oh, there's an edge. He's gone. He's gone. There's an edge. There has to be an edge. It looks like it's just struck the outside edge of the bat. It looks like it looks out, but let's see what from the other direction. It looks as if the ball passed the bat and there's a bit of a gap. But they had to go for the review. And it seems there is no edge. So on the website, I heard another individual say that it's taken 2 hours to complete. Yes, the heat plays a huge role, but come on, think about it. This is not the only country where such a tournament is played. Yes, the heat takes a toll, but then do something about it. Thankfully, the matches are not starting at 9 p.m. Indian time. Otherwise, the match would have gone till 2 a.m. the next day. So a wide given, poor decision, 4 balls to go. Mavi bowls to Pollard, full toss, and this will go for a boundary. Or is it a no ball? Well, that's a boundary, full toss, and he just about collapses, and the ball just about races to the boundary for 4. Full toss on the pads, deep mid wicket, 4 runs. Well, 2 balls to go, 2 sixes will get them to 200, and it will be a good score, considering that Calcutta had gone by the previous matches logic of batting first, but we have seen it's not working. And once you get to that 190, it's already a very good score. And it's a score which has gone out of Calcutta's hands. This time he pulls away, but that will only be a single. Or will they come back for 2 runs? They do excellent running. The score moves on to 191 for 5. This time top edge. No, that was just a replay. Anyways, we are all ready for the final two balls. And Shivam Mavi, the 20-year-old, has been impressive so far. So what will Pollard do in the final two balls? He has no option but to just swing off the fences, swing off his feet. As Mami bowls, Pollard says, thank you so much, but that's defended at cover. And they come back for two, and the score moves on to 5 for 193. And we have taken 2 hours and 5 minutes to complete one innings. Absolutely substandard. It was carted away, but it was brilliantly fielded by Owen Morgan. And for me, Owen Morgan's batting could be the difference between the two teams because he's been brilliant for his country and he's the kind of guy. And we remember England chased down 190 against Pakistan in a 20-over match with Owen Morgan getting the runs. He batted well against Australia, but it will be a 50-50 game. If Morgan comes through, the match is in favor of Calcutta. So that will be a long way. So can the final ball disappear for a 6 for Calcutta require exactly 200? I presume it's going to be a short delivery and Pollard will try and use all his muscles because that's what they have to do. So the final ball of the first innings, which has taken 2 hours and 10 minutes to complete. I hope the match referee is looking on along with the tournament officials. Short delivery, Pollard says, thank you so much, but very well bowled by Mavi. And they will come back for 2. And the score will remain at 5 for 195. Finally, after 2 hours and 6 minutes, they have decided that it's enough. 20 overs completed. Yes, the heat takes its toll, but still it's still a poor over rate. So that ends tonight's commentary. I'll be back tomorrow with another match. Till then, it's good night.